some of the responses is, strangely enough, guys love this movie. And it's because I don't blame men. The problem is a cultural problem. Women adopt bias against other women too. You know, we have it in our heads to not trust, to not communicate, to question about, oh, you can only do this much. You're stepping outside the lines, you're making me uncomfortable. So it's a two sides of the equation. It's an agreement, and we just have to disagree. So that's all. That's the simplest answer. Just disagree. No, of course you can do that. Of course you can. And I think when guys think that too, like, oh, of course you can do that. Of course I can have a leader. I can have a female director tell me what to do, because she's telling me from her imagination and her mind. You know. There's Jeremy Renner was on 60 Minutes, and they were talking about Catherine Bigelow, who did The Hurt Locker, and it's true. Like, I thought this too. Wow, a woman directed this amazing war film. I'm about to direct a war film, just FYI. So, what a little journey that's been. But he says, well, you know, she's not directing from her ovaries. Hello? She's directing through her eyes. It's through her eyes that she sees. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about vision. I'm talking about visionaries. Using your imagination, using your eyes to see and think about what you want to create. Right? And know that you can, of course you can. Male, female, your body, your gender identification, your, you know, even your intelligence level doesn't matter. It's your imagination, your personal dynamic, your agreement with yourself. What can I do? What will I allow myself to do? How far will I allow myself to dream? And then how do I put the foundation under it? Right? So, this has been an incredible journey for me, of many failures and many successes. I once shot an entire interview with an incredible woman completely out of focus. I shot another one of my interviews very early on, terrible sound. I was like, I wanted to die, but I didn't quit. I kept interviewing people. My interviews got better, my lighting got better, my camera got better, my sound got better, and then I needed to raise money. I raised money, raised $60,000 in crowdfunding, which was great. Had another couple people come in with $10,000 here, $5,000 there. I put a lot of my own money into it. I'll be honest. I am much poorer now than I ever have been. But I don't mind. I'm really happy. I love what I do, and I'm continuing to get hired for what I do. And that's that risk element. We all have to sort of put ourselves in this position of like, this is the arts, baby. This is life in the arts. You're gonna have to take some risks, towards your dream. So, whatever you do, don't put it on credit cards. That's all I say. Just don't put it on credit cards. Those are evil little bits of plastic. Yes. That will take you too long to pay off. That will make you feel crushed. But wait, apply for grants. We got a grant. Get friends, family, with crowdfunding. It will work. So I knew how to make short films. I've made 2 short films. I made this in a short film first. I couldn't afford an editor. I didn't know how to edit. So I taught myself Final Cut Pro because I knew iMovie. And I'm telling you this because if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Remember, I'm about to be in Hollywood Reporter. And so can you. Yes. Okay? So, and that was 6 years ago. And that has nothing to do with my acting career. Wow. The only thing I really got from my acting career and from my life was stamina. Right? That ability to personal grit. And that's one great thing about sports. And I do recommend, if you have something that you do that gives you strength, you gotta be strong in this business, and I don't play sports, I barely exercise. But if that's for you, great, it's a tool, But I do have stamina from being on sets year after year after year and working with people and having to do long days and long scenes. And so whatever you've done that has given you stamina, that's a good thing. Then what happened was a lot of people, after I made the short, it got into some festivals, and they were very encouraging, and I won Best Documentary Short at the Burbank, like small festivals. Burbank Film Festival, and then Newport Beach, and gave us a jury award, and I wasn't even there because I didn't think we were going to win, and I was like, oh my God! And then I had a lot of people be very mean to me, and criticize the film. It wasn't reaching, the fabulous ladies of a small little certain group of indie filmmakers. Just, we're not going to let me into their club easy. It's not happening. You guys know this, right? You know this dynamic. Now you're not getting into the club, and we don't like your film, and go away. And here's what's wrong with it, and shut up. So I was kind of crushed. I thought, like, oh, I'm going to go join the girls' club, filmmakers, woo! They weren't letting me in. So I got depressed, and I took a day job working for a manager who was an old friend of something, and she didn't even want to hire me, put me on her roster of female directors. So I was like, if you don't want to put me on your roster of female directors, like, wow, this is brutal. And she's like, well, people just are not hiring women. I love that you made your short. It's wonderful, but it's just not happening. So while I was there at the desk job, thinking like, oh, I know how to file. I know how to, and I've learned how to type since I've written all these scripts in my book. The phone rang, and it was the Soho Film Festival. And they saw the short, and they called me up, and they said, can you make this into a feature in 3 weeks? We think it would be very competitive. Wow. And that call really changed a lot. And God bless that woman, and God bless women who do that, and we are out there. I am one of those women now. If you contact me, any single one of you in this audience, I will respond personal. If you have a question for me, I will help you. If you need a door open, let me know. If I can, I will open. Because this is how it works, right? We help each other, male or female, whatever color you are, whatever your sexual gender identification is. It doesn't matter. Who cares? What's your craft? What's your art? What's your passion? If you're sitting here listening to me this long, you care about yourself. Not about me. You. Because you're getting something from this, and I'm trying to give this to you. Right? So, I quit my day job, and I made the film in 3 weeks. I sweat buckets. Yeah. I wore my bathrobe the entire time. I ate a lot of cookies. I put on some weight. But I did it. And it was nerve-wracking. We were FedExing the film last minute. My husband, I was flying to New York without the film. And they were still doing sound. And I was like, honey, can you take it to the FedEx now? Is it done? He's like, I'll drive, I'll get it, but, teamwork. And he FedExed it, and I arrived, and I kind of BS'd for a while. Oh yeah, I got it in my hotel room. Oh, I'll bring it, going to the various parties and whatever. And then we kind of need it now. It's tomorrow. I was like, oh yeah. FedEx arrived that day. Brought it to them, and we had a wonderful full house. And even without perfect sound, the audience loved the film, and that's how we won the audience award at the Soho Film Festival. A lot of dripping sweat. You'll lose weight just from the stress of making movies. So eat whatever you want. From that moment, I decided, you know what? I just have to keep making movies while I do this. Because if I keep working as this film, what am I going to do with this film now? Then a distributor came calling, and I did all this research on distribution, which is basically there's only one group that's making, unless you get your movie bought by Netflix, there's only one group that's really making money off of movie these days, and that's the distributors. Newsflash, let's say. So think about all the platforms they can put a movie on, right? The filmmaker for each one of those platforms gets charged a fee. So if you make $10,000 on your movie, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500, minus 500 for iTunes, Amazon, Netflix, Vudu, Fandango, blah, 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 whatever else is out there, you walk away with $500. That's right. That's right. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll do self-distribution. I have that all planned. And then this one distributor that was sort of interesting said, can you make the movie longer? Because at 57 minutes, which qualified as a feature for the festival. It wasn't a full-length feature. So I said, okay, I'll make it longer. And then I was like, you know what? This is another one of those moments of grace. Somebody said, go back in and here's another opportunity. And I'm like, I'm gonna make the movie that I really wanted to make in the very beginning. And I'm gonna put in this, and I'm gonna put in that, and I'm gonna use all these different people, and we're gonna have more animation, and it was a lot of work, and it took more time, but now I have the movie that I wanted to make. And it premiered at the Heartland Film Festival, and it was a wonderful, small, critically acclaimed festival. I got to talk to my, I don't know who Leonard Lopate, I'm sure, is in WBAI in New York. I got to be interviewed by him, which was super awesome, and now we're gonna open at the Artemis Film Festival, and I got an educational distributor, so it's now out in the world. You can show it in various places, and the libraries are buying it. Anchorage, Alaska has it, and that's just really gratifying. I'm not going to make a lot of money on this movie, but how it is changing people who come up to me and say, I showed it at a high school, and a woman said to me, I can be a director? I can be a director for a living. I was like, yes, you can. You can do it. And so I was doing these two things, making that movie and continuing to make other work. That's how Venice the series came along. I got those nice nominations, and I got this other web series, and made another short film, The Butterflies. And so I'm saying all this just to show you some of this work, and you'll see probably a little bit of the progression in my ability. And the wonderful thing about all of this is that I was learning about how to make a movie while making a movie about how to make a movie. So, and how to lead. So as I went from making the films that I wanted to make, and being the producer, the director, the writer, being the boss, where I could be like, well, I guess I don't want to work with that person again. Don't have to, bye. Then I was in other positions where I did have to work with people that I wasn't, and I'm a for hire. I'm like, how do I function? How do I do that? How do I be just the director and wear just those shoes? I mean, it's really important to wear the shoes of your particular role, especially on a film set, right? I know I'm going to have trouble with this next movie because I'm going to want to go get myself coffee. And people will tell me, no, we've got people for that. And I'll be like, oh! I'm going to want to move a prop, and I'm going to have to ask permission, because it's the prop department's job to touch the props, or set deck, it's their job, or the lighting guy, don't touch the lights, because I've become too self-reliant, right? But it's really, that's why they sometimes call movie making a war, and that, going into war, but that's only, it's not because you're in a battle together, but because everyone has a very specific job to do, right? And you need to be a good soldier and know what your job is as that particular rank, right? But I learned different things from these women that I want to tell you about so that you can benefit from them, and then maybe hopefully you'll come up to LA and see the film on the big screen. It looks great. But some of them are I want to give you some of the best. What Bethany Rooney says about you have the power when you have the imagination. This is the director's job. You see the pictures in your mind when you read the script. And then your job is to communicate them to other people. And if you can't do that, if you don't know what you want, it's a huge part of directing. Know what you want. You have to see it, you have to know that's what you want, and then you have to be able to communicate, this is what I want. And I think sometimes for women, I think sometimes for women that's very difficult. Because we don't feel allowed to have what we want. Or to say, I want this, that's male, or I'm being a bitch, or that's what's that? That's it. Yeah, it's too harsh. It's just too harsh. But it's. I just want to say, let's disagree with that. Let's disagree with that because it's not too harsh, right? We've all had. I had a very strong mother. she knew what the heck she wanted. And when she didn't, you also knew that too. But she was tough when she felt that she was very sure about something. Whether she was right or not, that's another story. But that is the core of any creative work. And if you don't know what you want, and you're on set, jazz. You do not want to be a director who says, well, I don't know. The entire production will fall apart.
Yes.
We've got a director who doesn't know what they want. We have a director that's like, indecisive.
Oh.
That is not good. So you'd be like, I'm gonna take a walk. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. I'll get back to you on that. I'm gonna take a minute. I'm gonna use the bathroom. That's just finding ways to protect yourself so that you can create a little space. You know this, right? Like I think guys are sort of taught these leadership things. Like it's kind of an act. I call it jazz. It's sort of like, oh, I'm giving